Project management itself is not the end game. Project management is the process that we use to drive business results. And the PMO is the engine that generates that impact for the organization. We have to speak their language. We have to speak the language of the business. Talk to them in terms that they understand.
You're changing the conversation you have about your project and your PMO to be a lot more about value and return on investment. Imagine if you walked into the CFO's office and you started calling the project's investments. Oh, you're speaking my language finally. You get me. That's how they think of it. And we've started to transform our mindset now to do that. And what we do as a result is create a really high performance culture where everybody is operating like they're on Wall Street. Everyone is thinking, okay, I understand that when I do this, this is going to be the impact. I understand that there's going to be value as a result of this. I'm not just doing mindless project work. You're connecting, and remember the PMO and project managers, you are the strategy navigator. You're the people that help to navigate through all of the challenges and the risks and the problems to get that strategy realized. And that conversation and that behavior and the way you talk about it needs to be how you execute. So we shift our mindset and we show the PMO as an organization that understands investments and understands business. And then that becomes the organization that holds the keys to the entire portfolio for the entire company. Because they're going to continue to invest in it because you get it.
How do people digest information? Do you have that business leader that wants the bulleted list versus the one that wants to see pretty pictures? By the way, the higher up you are in the organization, the more you need to rely on pictures to tell your story and a very succinct list of bullets. It is not because they're dumb. It is because they have 15 of these meetings in a single day, and your job is to focus them where you need them so that they have the information they need to make good decisions on your behalf and move on to the next thing they've got to deal with.
If you're lucky, you can keep their attention for a meeting. But if you focus that meeting and you've got one single piece of paper that you're putting in front of them and you're saying, we're going to knock this out in 30 minutes or less, you'll get their attention. You'll get their attention, you'll keep their focus, and then they can move on to the next thing. Imagine a world where you could get what you needed from your sponsor or your executives right there in the room and move on and get to the next thing you had to do. And it didn't take you 2 hours of going through 14 pages of material. How much more productive would you be if you did that on all of your projects? That'd be pretty cool, right?
It's about how you're using that time most effectively and making every minute count. That's what's important. And for us, we are all busy, right? We don't have time to read the things that are put in front of us. How do we expect those leaders that we need to actually take action and drive change to be able to do so if we're not putting the right information in front of them to make that decision? The way the brain works is that it picks up colors and images faster than words. So if you can get their attention and you've got 5 minutes from them, and you can focus them exactly where they need to be looking, and tell them exactly what they need to know, and what you want them to do about it, you will get much better results from your executives. You're training them, and you're giving them the information they need to make good decisions and to help you.
So this system starts with instilling focus. We get so caught up in all of the things that we want to do when we're creating a project, when we're starting a PMO, when we're putting project management discipline into an organization, and we start boiling the ocean. Measure outcomes, not just progress. Perform, not just get it done, but perform relentlessly. Your sole focus is on delivery and getting results. But in order to survive, and not just survive, but thrive, we need to be flexible. We need to be able to adapt. adapt to the environment that we're in, and make sure that we're shifting as changes are happening around us. And everyone says that the success or failure of project management has so much to do with communication, and I would agree, we do way too much of the wrong communication. It's about communication with meaning and with purpose to drive outcomes and delivery and results. And then, once we've done that, we can transform our mindset and that of our stakeholders to see the PMO and project management as the engine that drives impact, not the administrative overhead that gets in my way of getting things done.
I had something happen to me recently that blew my mind, because this doesn't happen to us much in this space. I'm working with a client, and we're going through and prioritizing his entire portfolio for the organization. And we're going through all of his business projects. And he said, wait, there's one missing, the CEO, and his whole leadership team. And I said, what's missing? He said, the stuff we're doing with you. You're helping us bring portfolio management and project management and set up a PMO. That's number one. I said, what? Hold on, say that again. That's what? And I even challenged and pushed back on it, because I wanted to know how sturdy that was. Don't just say it, you know, you're gonna hurt my feelings otherwise. No, they were very serious. Every one of them said, if we don't do this right, we will not be able to execute on our business strategy. That's the conversation you want your leaders having with you. But if you have spent a year or more building templates and tools and process before you've ever had a chance to show value and perform and have an impact, you've boiled the ocean when all you needed to do was put one pot on the stove.
I'm here to tell you about what I experienced with Laura Barnard's speech today on the impact engine. Long overdue. PMOs have long been derided as heavy overhead, box checkers, not helping the business deliver the kind of impact, not helping project-centric organizations deliver the kind of impact they're there to deliver. Laura's come up with a formula to make this impact engine the defining attribute of the best PMOs. And we've done it, I've applied her techniques, we've done it for massive nonprofit projects, government, commercial, you name it. And if you ever get the chance to see Laura speak on this subject, I encourage you to go see her.
When we're creating PMOs, we do it all backwards. We say, well, okay, first things first, we got to create a whole bunch of templates. Okay, next, let's put a tool in place nobody's going to use. Now, I'm not saying you don't do those things, but I'm saying you've got limited resources with your leadership team. They've got only this much patience and this much funding to support you. It would behoove you to spend that money well and to spend that precious resource of their attention span well and focus your energy on getting something done for them so that they can say, oh, that's what you do. Great, can you do that again? And then can you do it again? And then can you do it again? Absolutely. And here's what I'm going to need to do that. Then you can have a conversation about resources and how you grow and what kind of tool might be helpful. But if you start with things like the templates and the tools before you've really ever figured out how the execution engine happens in the organization, you're going to build the wrong thing. You're going to build the tool that nobody needs. You're going to put the templates in place that actually aren't helpful. I have never seen a CEO or a business leader come to me or anyone else and say, no, hold on, come back when you've got 5 more templates for me to fill out. They just want you to help them get it done.
We think about it in terms of projects and the triple constraint. And we need to stop that thinking and start thinking about investments and return on investment instead of just the project. The triple constraint is a set of metrics that you can use as indicators, but they're not why you're there. You are creating projects for the purpose of realizing an investment. Not just to say I did it on time, with the appropriate scope, or even gold-plated it, and under budget. Woohoo, I win. But you know what? We don't need it anymore. So it seems easy so far, right? We got this. A lot of organizations think this way and talk this way and think about their projects as investments. The project portfolio is an investment portfolio. The project is an individual investment. And the minute that investment loses its value, are you guys those people that hold on to the stocks when they're just... At some point, you need to be okay cutting your losses.
See, that's how the C-suite thinks about those projects. And that's why they're investing their money, a limited pool of money, into those particular projects, is because they're trying to get to those outcomes. And the reason that we're seen as these administrative overhead and box checkers and all those things is because we talk in a language that doesn't translate to them. They don't care about the triple constraint. They care about return on investment. So think of yourself as an investment manager and focus on outcomes and that end state as opposed to we're tracking on our schedule. Every conversation you have can be shifted to say, we met this milestone, and that means that we are going to deliver this impact at the end of the project and on this date. And it is our fiduciary responsibility to deliver on that investment. Have you ever thought of it that way? As project managers, you have a fiduciary responsibility to your organization. They wrote you a check, and you need to deliver results for that. Just like you feel that your investment manager has a fiduciary responsibility to you to make you some money in your 401k.
Today we had the privilege of having Laura Barnard here as one of our keynote speakers and session provider. She did an amazing job. What she brought to us is very enlightening. The tools that she's making available to our members will be invaluable, and we really appreciate her contribution to the PMI Professional Development Day in Iowa today.
Today at the PMI Central Iowa Development Day, we had the pleasure of seeing Laura, the keynote speaker, in the afternoon, and just really enjoyed her message about PMOs and the organization and building those out, and just the value that they bring to companies, and we're going to take some of that information back and try and implement some of it and keep talking to her down the road, and hopefully she can assist with some of that.
Right. One thing that stuck with me is the statement she made that as PMs we have a fiduciary responsibility to deliver because we actually are the owners of delivery. That was an impressive comment. Thanks.
I had an opportunity at our Professional Development Day today to listen to Laura Barnard, both as a breakout session speaker and a keynote speaker. I really enjoyed both sessions. She did a great job of providing a lot of information that I'm anxious to go back and use at work Monday morning.
This is where PMO leaders often start. I'm going to convince them they need a PMO. I'm going to convince them that this is the way they should be doing things. I'm going to tell them everything they were doing wrong. And guess what? I did that. It didn't work. Don't do it. I got a few battle scars to prove it. I thought I knew better. I thought I knew how to do all of this. I thought I knew what was best for them. But we don't. Because we aren't the subject matter experts in the business. The business is the subject matter experts in the business. So before we start trying to change their minds about the value of the PMO, we need to change our mindset to understand our role as a service provider to the business, as a solution to the business. We are the strategy navigator for the organization. We hold the power of the portfolio of all the things that matters to the business in our hands. That is a powerful place to be. But only if we change our minds and our mindset to be about having the business conversation.
How many of you people here think that people are resistant to change? Show me your hands. We wouldn't exist as a species if that was actually true. You know what people hate? And you know what they resist? Imagine if somebody grabs your hand and they start pulling you. Instinctually, before you've ever had the opportunity to figure out if where they're taking you is a place you want to go, what do? You pull back. Because you have no idea where they're taking you. However, if somebody comes and stands next to you and gently grabs your hand and says, "Here's where I'd like to go. I'd like to take you on a journey with me. I'd like for you to come with me through some change. And let me tell you what's going to be on the other side when we get there." That's pretty cool, huh? You're a lot more likely to go. If somebody gives you your whiffum and puts it on a silver platter in front of you, it's the carrot, right? They keep dangling that carrot and you're going, I want to go there. But what we do is we often shove change at people and forget to help shift their mindset as to why they might want to come with us and why what they're doing might be in their best interest. So we actually aren't dealing with change resistance. We're dealing with people that don't know how to help people through change. Remember that it's a journey, the conversation that you're having with them, that you're bringing them through a journey of change with you. And doing it in that way can transform their mindset slowly, so slowly they don't even know it's happening.
You know, I was working with a very large organization, and they were creating this really big change and putting a PMO in place. And I said, "How have you been doing on communication?" And they said, "Well, we did a town hall 6 months ago." And I said, "Okay, what'd you do after that?" "Well, we sent an email 3 months ago." "How's that working out for you?" I said, "Don't assume they understand just because you get it and you communicated to them months ago. Of course, you guys understand the value of a PMO, except for wherever that person is that doesn't. But you can't assume that they get it." And we all think our sponsor is one of those people that would get it, right? Sometimes they don't. Or they are passionately engaged, but they have no idea what their job is. They really want to help and they're driving you crazy. We have a responsibility to train them to work with us the way we need to work with them.
And for those of you that are fortunate enough to have sponsors engaged, sometimes they're just there and they're excited and they want to be a part of it, but they're driving you nuts because they can't actually help you because they don't know how. We haven't told them how to help us. Using tools like that status report to say, "Here, focus here, I want this, I need this. I need decisions, here's the information, I need you to go do something, I need you to talk to somebody in the technical department to get me my resource I've been asking for 3 weeks. It's our responsibility to train them on what we need from them.
If you are struggling to create change and you're struggling to make progress, I'm willing to bet that there is something going on in the communication. Something going on in how you are leveraging communication to activate and move people forward.
Nobody really cares about status. That's old news. That's where you've been. What people want to know is what's going on, where are you stuck, what do you need from me, and when can I go home today? Right? So have very fast and clear conversations with them, aligning everyone towards the same goal, getting home by 5 o'clock. So let's get this meeting done. Or let's figure out how we can deliver on this so we can get this project done on time, so you're not late on your other 3 projects you have after this. So when you're explaining to the developer why you're asking them to stay late, but you can tie it to the outcome that that project's going to create that impacts their bonus, you're going to have their attention. It's all about understanding the WIFM. Everyone know what that is? What's in it for me? For every stakeholder you're engaging with. So it all comes around to understanding how we all fit together, and we are the business. We don't work for the business. We own the business. We're responsible for the business, and we are the ones that can get it done like no other profession can.